Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It's a weekend, so let's do the whole doggone thing. Saturday, the 12th day of October, National Farmers Day, which should be every day, really. Hats off to all the farmers out there.
Absolutely.
We would all be very hungry and naked without you. So thank you. Pulled Pork Day today, National Chess Day, National Costume Swap Day. That's a good idea.
That is a very good idea.
We've had some cool costumes over the years, so if anybody wants to swap, reach out. I don't think we have any cool
I don't think
costumes
we kept
left.
any of them at all.
But we'll still tell you what we did. National Savings Day, I Love Yarn Day, and we'll do one more. National Gumbo Day, all of those things. Now let's take a look at Sunday, the 13th of October, Navy's birthday. Happy birthday, Navy. No Bra Day, so I celebrate that one every day.
Great.
National Headband Day, Disaster Day. Hopefully we don't have disaster on the 13th. That would be really bad. International Suit Up Day. International Skeptics Day, but I don't believe it. I don't think that's really a thing. And Silly Sayings Day. That makes more sense.
That does make more sense.
All of that, and I have a guest joining me. Going to talk with Jane Dorian, the goddaughter of Jerry Herman, and this is just in time for Halloween. You can buy his crypt. It's available, and it's like next to Marilyn Monroe, and we're going to chat about that coming up in a bit.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Could it be the secret to a longer life lies in pond scum? Well, a new study says that a compound found in pound scum, this microalgae, seems to have remarkable anti-aging properties, including extending lifespan. Spanish and British researchers used a type of tiny worm in their study that is found in this thing. Once treated with this, it increased resistance to oxidative stress. Am I saying any of these words right?
No.
Suggesting that biotin acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting cells from damage caused by harmful free radicals.
Don't just start eating pond scum.
Yeah.
Because
Researchers,
you don't know what you're eating.
They also found it had a powerful protective effect against Alzheimer's and a positive effect of extending lifespan. They say their findings open intriguing possibilities for future anti-aging research. If you'd like to read what I just read and maybe say some of the words right, I have a link to this in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that Nintendo is opening a museum where fans of Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda, and Game Boy Switch can find out more about the history of one of the world's most renowned game makers? Okay. It's in Japan. It's near their headquarters. The museum showcased the many evolutions of Nintendo, which was founded in 1889, making playing cards. And then they've, added things over the years. So admission is sold out for the first 2 months, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by RadioSavings.com. Robert Englund wants to return to a Nightmare on Elm Street series for an animated movie. The 77-year-old stars as the dreaded Freddy Krueger in 1984, all the way up until the spin-off of 2003. That was his last one. They're talking about maybe making it an animated thing to terrorize young children in their dreams.
Oh, my gosh.
And we have a few more details.
I absolutely love Nightmare on Elm Street, though. That whole
series. A few more
series.
details on Daniel Day-Lewis' surprise return to acting after he was spotted on a set. The 67-year-old Oscar winner was photographed driving a motorbike through the streets of England. And apparently he's going to be doing some acting again. He hadn't done this for a while, since 2017.
Well, good for him.
And skateboard legend Tony Hawk has teamed up with Steve-O on a new skating anthology series. They announced a script called Skate or Die, S-K, then the number 8,
Right.
Skate or Die, the Lee Ralph story. So that'll be really interesting. That is Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by RadioSavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on RadioSavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at RadioSavings.com. That's RadioSavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. A study says the average woman spends 5 of the 168 hours each week in a bad mood. Wow.
Really?
It doesn't say how many hours men spend in a bad mood. Probably less, because we're just the ones that cause the bad mood most of the time.
And usually oblivious to the fact.
Like, were you upset about something? All right. Have you ever noticed the word internet is capitalized sometimes, but other times it's not?
If it's at the beginning of a sentence.
They say don't do that. No, it's sometimes in the middle. The question of whether internet deserves to be uppercase is controversial. Experts say using the capital I was common in early days of the internet, especially in technical writing. However, as the internet has become part of our lives, most people now write it with a lowercase I. Dialect can make a difference too. Capitalizing internet is more common in American English than it is in British English. Grammar experts agree that while ultimately it's a matter of preference, why would you give a noun a capital letter unless you do the same thing for something like shoe?
Yeah, I've never capitalized internet.
I capitalize all. I just put all caps, then I never have to worry about that. And there has definitely been a movement lately to keep mobile phones out of classrooms in hopes of avoiding the distractions that come with having access to everything like social media, messaging, and the like.
I think that's just smart.
Yeah, but according to a study, there might be another way to let teachers teach without students having to leave their phones at the door or in a backpack. And it allows for 1-minute phone breaks during class.
Oh my gosh.
In a study carried out among college students who were permitted to use their phones for a brief period of time, they saw more classroom focus, less overall phone use, and higher test scores. The study also found that when granted unrestricted access to their phones during class, they use their phones for non-academic purposes as much as 10 times per class. So, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
We didn't have phones when we were in school.
Get them used to the real world. When they get out in their job, they're not going to say, okay, it's your 1-minute phone break.
You get a phone break every 1 minute.
Good
A 1-minute phone break
Lord.
every 1 minute. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. My guest, Jane Dorian, is the goddaughter of musician Jerry Herman, and we're going to talk about a couple of different auctions. One of the auctions is auctioning off a crypt between, am I getting this right, Marilyn Monroe and Hugh Hefner, is that right?
You certainly are. So there's a huge story associated with this. I mean, one should say, why is a crypt available?
Yeah.
Why wasn't it used? So back in the 90s, when Jerry had some health issues that he was dealing with, he said, okay, well, it's probably time to start thinking about that fateful day. And so Jerry romanticized glamorous, elegant people, and he loved talent. And what better place to spend the rest of eternity than at Westwood Pierce Brothers Memorial, which is a very small cemetery in the heart of Westwood. Many, many people don't know about it. And the celebrity list just goes on and on and on, from Truman Capote to Marilyn Monroe to Hugh Hefner to the Arm & Hammer family. I mean, it's a real jewel. It's like the who's who of Hollywood. And so that's where he decided that he wanted to be interned. I mean, why not spend eternity next to the two sexiest people ever to have walked the planet?
There you go.
So, exactly. So in his 11th hour, because fortunately Jerry lived many more decades after that. And so in the final hour, he decided he wanted to be buried next to his mother and my mother, who was his best friend in the world. So he was buried back in New Jersey, and the crypt is available for sale, or actually for auction, I should say. So on October 25th, Studio Auctions will be auctioning the crypt, and there'll be some other terrific stuff. Marlon Brando, his tuxedo and his watch, and some Marilyn Monroe memorabilia that's never been seen before. That's also going to be auctioned at that same time. So it's going to be quite an auction to take a look at. And then December 14th, Doyle Auction will be having a huge auction for all of his very personal memorabilia. So if you want a piece of Jerry Herman history, that is the auction to look at. One of the major items for auction is his piano.
Wow, that's really cool. Now, that auction is coming up in December. The other one that we're talking about, the crypt, that is later this month. And I'm going to throw all the details for both of these here in a bit. And I can understand where the crypt, for me, not so much, but I can see where somebody would say that would be a pretty cool place to spend the rest of eternity.
I think so. And you know what? You'll never be forgotten or neglected by your relatives. I can promise you that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, everybody's going to want to come to the cemetery. So it's got quite an illustrious history. And as I said, the celebrities who are there are just unbelievable.
Now, sadly, Jerry Herman is no longer with us, but let's talk about some of the accomplishments that he had during his lifetime as a musician, a composer. He had a chance to do some amazing things.
Well, he certainly did. So for those who are unfamiliar, sometimes there's a disconnect between the name and the work. But he wrote both the music and lyrics for Hello Dolly, Mame, La Cage aux Folles, Milk and Honey, Mac and Mabel, Grand Tour, Jerry's Girls, and the list goes on and on and on. He did the theme song for Barney the Dinosaur, the movie, not the television show, but the movie. And he did several off-Broadway shows as well. So and did I mention the Grand Tour as well? And he is one of the very few composers that has had 3 shows that have run for over 1,500 performances. And if I'm not mistaken, Hello Dolly and Mame were running at the same time. And I did forget one other delightful show that he wrote, which was Dear World, starring Angela Lansbury. That won her 2nd Tony Award.
Some amazing accomplishments. And again, there are 2 auctions coming up. One is December 14th. That's a lot of his personal items. But the one that's coming up at the end of this month, the 25th of October, that is the crypt. And you'll have some pretty amazing neighbors.
Some of the people who are interned there are Burt Lancaster, Truman Capote, Buddy Rich, Natalie Wood, Dean Martin, Ray Bradbury, Ryan O'Neal, Farrah Fawcett, George Scott, Don Knotts, Jack Lemmon, Tim Conway, Walter Matthau, Billy Wilder, Kirk Douglas. I mean, the list just goes on and on.
And again, that auction is coming up at the end of this month, October the 25th. The other one is in December. I'm going to throw a link to information about both auctions in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You can tweak your metabolic health by turning down the bedroom thermostat a few degrees. So if we slept any colder, we would...
I tried to do that.
Yeah. My wife, this lady right next to me, Heidi, is my wife, and she likes it so cold in our room. It is ridiculous cold. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The world record for the longest urination was 508 seconds.
Holy cow.
I'm going to have to start counting, apparently. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There are more than 40,000 characters in Chinese script. So, we have like 26 letters. We have 4,000. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When a waitress draws a happy face on a check, tips go up by about 18%. When a waiter does the same thing, they only go up by 3%. I wonder why that is.
I don't
Does
know.
that seem weird to you?
It does.
And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Strawberries are the only fruit where the seeds are on the exterior. Little seeds, little bumps out there. Those are seeds. Yeah, several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. 56% of us say that we would not date someone who isn't good at this. What is it?
Math.
No. Driving.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure we're all dating somebody who's not good at math. Would you date me if I was not good at driving?
I did.
I knew exactly what she was going to say. I thought you were going to say, I do. You still date me. We're still together. Wait a minute. What are you trying to tell me?
We're married.
Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. This, by the way, would be our luck. The organizers of what was supposed to be a very long treasure hunt are baffled that somebody not only found the small gold statue that they hid in the Massachusetts woods, but they're also disappointed that the winner has yet to claim his crypto prize worth $27,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, a couple out hiking say they saw the winner with the trophy in hand and spoke with him. The supposed winner said that he's a meteorologist who was able to determine the location of the prize from within a 27-mile search radius by, if you can believe it, analyzing cloud patterns seen in a live stream set up at the trophy's location. Organizers say it is surreal that the man has not claimed the prize yet. The couple who spoke with him said he was just super excited that he got the trophy. So there's a trophy that he got. He has that. He also has a $27,000 prize. I don't know. Maybe he's not. And he's like, I get more than the trophy? Weird news. Brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Time now for the list, brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. The funniest tweets of the week from women. And based on my wife eye rolls, I think that this maybe is not as funny as I thought it was. Do you think it's funny at all?
I have way funnier posts than any of these. And
all right.
To say
Holly Harris
is
at this one here. Walking into someone's house with healthy, thriving houseplants everywhere. Me, I see you dabble in witchcraft. See, I think that's funny. all they really have to do is just water their plants. How about Roxy Demento, who says, being a latchkey kid was sad, but kids who had parents home to greet them never got to live with that lawless 2 hours where you could eat something weird and you and your brother could hit each other. So, see, I like that.
That was fun.
I'll do one more. This is from Chappelle Ellis, who says, when I was a little girl, I always dreamed of growing up to satisfy user needs in a way that meets business goals for transformative outcomes. That's probably like their business's... what is that thing called you're supposed to have? Mission statement?
Mission statement.
Yeah, we should work on one of those. Funniest tweets of the week from women. It's the list brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis by allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. Tom Lehrer says, life is like a sewer. What you get out of it depends on what you put into it. Okay?
I can't imagine anything good coming out of a sewer.
Me neither. I don't know.
So I don't know what this meant.
Life is like a sewer. You get out of it. Okay, whatever. I'm going to quit thinking about that and move on with the rest of my life. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of Genesis Gold, IRA.com. And Johnny Depp, whether you love the guy or don't love the guy, I think you'll love this story. Because we've got friends that are like obsessed with him.
Oh,
which
yes.
is odd, but that's
very much so.
This story comes from Spain. Johnny Depp, dressed as his beloved character Captain Jack Sparrow, made a surprise appearance at a hospital in Spain. The photo here, he does not look happy. Doesn't he look like he's there against his will?
He looks kind of crabby to me.
He looks like he's there against his will for some reason. He was in the country for a film festival, took time out of his schedule to visit a pediatric and oncology ward, so he was there with a bunch of young children and their families. The hospital staff and patients alike were thrilled to meet the famous pirate, and Depp didn't disappoint. He stayed in character, sharing laughs and stories, helping children forget about their current challenges, even if just for a little while. The hospital shared Depp's presence was not only a gift to the children, but also to the families and staff who witnessed the event. It says they shared laughs and anecdotes, helping the children forget their current difficulties for a few minutes, the hospital expressed. The staff further thanked Depp for his time and energy, calling it, quote, a breath of fresh air for everyone on the ward. So if you'd like to see video and some images from this trip, I do have a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. I think that's really cool.
I do too.
Do you think if Heidi stopped by the hospital, there'd be a story about that?
Most likely not.
Probably not. John and Heidi stopped by the hospital. Well, good for you. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.